I'm back, and I'm going to make it everyone's problem. It's been so long, I don't even remember how long it's been. I'm pretty sure it's been like over a year, but here I am to make a new video. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. I let you guys down. I said that I was gonna try multiple times. I said I would try not to take any more 6-month hiatuses unannounced. I technically succeeded because I took over a year hiatus this time. So there's that. But the point is, I tried, I failed. All I can do is try again, and I apologize for that. I had a whole like story that I wanted to tell, you know, as to like why I was gone for so long, because so many things that happened. It all started off simple. Basically, the computer I was using just gave up. You guys have known that I've always had computer issues regardless of which computer I use. I got a new one and it would just not be working from the start, but in a way where like I couldn't really get my money back for it. It's like a whole thing. I have bad luck with technology, etc., etc. And it just gave up. Like editing became so miserable that like I could not take it anymore. It would literally take me like an hour to do something that a normal, you know, content creator would take like 10 minutes to do. Like, it was ridiculous. My friends would like see me, you know, sharing my screen sometimes just to show them what's happening, and they were like, how the f do you even do this? Like, how have you been editing all this time? And I'm like, pure determination, man. Like, I mean, no exaggeration. I would do a jump cut and my computer would freeze for like, if I was lucky, 30 seconds, but on average 1 to 2 minutes every jump cut. And there's like a million jump cuts in a video, especially my long ass videos. It was terrible. So it got to a point where like, it would just be like 10 minutes in between. And then I would record something and it would just like freeze. It's hard to explain, and it's not that I had a virus. Like, my computer was clean, it's just it couldn't support all the stuff I was trying to do on it. But it would freeze and it would be really choppy. It wouldn't play the video smoothly. I couldn't smoothly watch the transitions I was putting in. Couldn't listen to my voice properly because it kept skipping. And unless I recorded a whole new video, you know, another 2 hours of talking or something, and then narrow it down to like 45 minutes, it was just gonna stay that way. So stuff like that would happen. And it used to be like, you know, 15% of the time that would happen, 20%, but it bumped up to like, and 80% of the time I'd make a video, maybe on the low end like 60% of the time it would be one of those recordings, and I just have to deal with it. And freaking drawing videos, they were even worse. That's a whole other conversation, but like, editing just got to be so impossible. So I finally got a new computer, a very expensive computer, and getting it was a whole ordeal with more technological bad luck and other circumstances in real life that are entire other stories on their own. I just don't want to talk about it though. I'll explain why in a minute, but the point is, so much happened. And then when I finally got the computer, I had more issues that were coming up. And then at that point, when I finally fixed everything, I finally had everything set up, I just didn't want to make videos at the time. Like, I had other things I wanted to focus on and deal with, and I just didn't want to come back yet because it had already been so long. Like, it was like an 8-month process or something, maybe like 6 months, I don't know. For the most part, like the last few months, again, it's a whole story, but the point is, I just didn't want to come back, so I just continued to take that hiatus, you know, and focus on other stuff that I was trying to do. Those things I don't want to talk about either. But the point is, I just had things I want to deal with. So I feel like it's been long enough and I'm just like, the thing is, there's so many things I want to talk about, like the whole time I was gone, because I always have stuff to talk about, you know, but I just couldn't. And maybe I'll still talk about those subjects, I'm not sure. But the point is, yeah, I'm sorry about being gone for so long with no explanation. So I want to explain something else. I had this whole thing planned out like months ago of all the stuff that I wanted to like go through in this like coming back video, but now I'm just gonna sum the stuff up because I just don't care anymore. I just wanted to start uploading again, but I knew that that would be unfair to all of you because I left off right after addressing a shitstorm, and to just come back after over a year without some sort of recap, it would be kind of weird. So here it is. When I had left, you know, my last video, it was part of a series I was doing. And I basically finished the series, but I want to do one more video where I just like gave like a breakdown of my opinions on the people I did videos on, because I realized that I never really gave like a full straightforward opinion. I would sprinkle it throughout the video, and I realize now that that gave a miscommunication with, you know, my audience. Some people watch, not like my subscribers, but people who don't know me would come and watch and think I felt one way about the person because of how angry I would be at certain things I was criticizing, but they didn't understand exactly how I felt about that person. And yes, a lot of people aren't gonna understand no matter how much you explain yourself. I get that, but I still want to just have an explanation in the videos. Like, I feel like they're this kind of person for these reasons, and the way I feel about them for doing those things is this. If it's at least there, then it's something that people can point to, you know, and if they don't want to accept that information, that's on them, but I at least want to have it there. But because again, it's been so long, I don't know if I'm gonna make that video and go through all those like big videos I made. I don't want to right now. At the time, it was more appropriate because that was just gonna be the end of that series, but it's kind of ended on its own because of the long gap. So that was the thing. And I made a video not too long before that where I was explaining this whole situation on my channel, and I wanted to go through that again because I don't think that I fully did the story justice, but again, with the gap, I don't want to anymore. But I'm gonna sum up the most important thing that I wanted to address that I didn't address previously. So I was making more so positive content at a time when I wasn't as, you know, fed up with life as I am now, and that was the stuff that I like to do. But then I just came to a realization about a bunch of things one day, and I've been, you know, pissed ever since. So I didn't want to make that content anymore. I didn't want to like make cartoons and stupid videos and play games or whatever. Just wanted to complain. And so my channel changed, and when that happened, a bunch of people like heard what I had to say and hated my guts, and they did a very good job of, you know, silencing my channel. Even though I was small, people say, oh, you just upload, it doesn't matter what you say, you'll get views. No, they did a good job of making sure people didn't see my stuff because they were dedicated. Like, there was like hate groups. Like, as small as I am, there was like hate groups, and people would come in and I would get like 300 dislikes as soon as it went up. Like, they were just waiting. It was insane. And so people would come in and see it, and then they'd be like, oh, I don't want to watch this video because it has dislikes and she's angry at someone who I'm subscribed to or somebody who most people like, so she's a troll. Or they would just make an assumption because of all the dislikes, and I wasn't getting any views. So since people are already talking shit in the comments and just calling me like, you know, a feminist, trans, dyke, bitch, whatever, and all this other stuff, some stuff, really horrible stuff, like calling me a rapist, I was like, you know, I like, sometimes even if I didn't feel like commenting, my friend would comment on my account, and sometimes we would just like come up with stuff to say together, like, and it was literally just me passing time, because I knew that if I kept responding to these people, they would keep commenting, and the comments would help to boost the video because that's part of the algorithm. So I was like, if I just keep getting these assholes to comment, no matter how offended they are, they're gonna keep viewing it. That's gonna increase the watch time regardless of how little. It's gonna increase, you know, they're gonna invite friends to come in and defend them. And that was my counterattack, and I did that for a long time. And it's especially easy to do that kind of thing when you're doing it with a friend, because you're pretty much just like, oh, look at this idiot. And so some people would get caught in the crossfire, and I know that that's kind of fucked up. Like, some people had no idea what was going on, would just come in and genuinely just not like my video. Even if they weren't giving it a chance, they weren't part of the hate group, you know? That was more so me targeting the hate group, but I couldn't tell who was who. So they would come in and already have a bad impression of me, and then I would give those responses, which would give them an even worse impression of me. And so they're just like, you really are just this horrible person. And it's like, well, you're starting off calling me names or being passive aggressive, being manipulative with your comments, and then claiming that you're not saying anything offensive when we all know that you are. But the point is, since you're not part of those groups, I didn't really want to target that stuff towards you. I just didn't feel bad because you were still coming in with ill intentions. And people still do that to this day, but people are always going to fall for passive aggressive behavior. It's like, I can't do anything about that. If you're stupid enough to read a comment where somebody's being passive aggressive and you think that they're actually being respectful, that's a fault on you. You know, it's always going to happen. But I just didn't really want to target those people. It just sort of happened. So they would come in, they would be like offended, and I just knew that, like, some people would literally tell me, oh, I bet you're going to call me an asshole, right? And I wasn't, but when they said that, I'm like, oh, if I call them an asshole, they'll probably respond. respond. So I call them an asshole, or they'd be like, oh, you're gonna tell me to shut the fuck up? I'd be like, shut the fuck up then. Like stuff, it was just so easy, you know? And the funniest part is through doing all that, I got a lot more views and I got a lot more people watching my stuff. And for every 1,000 people who hated what I had to say, there would be like 10 people who were like, oh, you actually have good points if someone sits down and watches what you say, you know, and puts their bias to the side. And that's why I kept doing it, because before that, nobody was listening to me. And that's when people want to come in and say, you're doing this because for this stupid reason. You just want to clout chase. You just think that your voice is the most important. You think insert extreme view here. It's like, I care about what I have to say, so of course I want people to listen. That's not the number one reason why I'm doing what I'm doing though. That's part of it. Even if I never got views or like never grew, I would continue to make videos because I would still like at least for one person to listen. And even if no one hears what I'm saying, it helps me to be able to complain and get my thoughts out there, and helps me to grow as a person. That's a whole separate topic for another day, but reviewing information, things that you're seeing and contemplating and, you know, thinking about how you feel about those things helps you to grow as a person. So I was always going to do that no matter what happened. But if I could also get other people to open their perspective to this point of view, because I do genuinely believe that these topics are important, or else I wouldn't believe in them in the first place. Like, yeah, I care about this stuff, so I want people to see it. So I continued to go off in the comments section. And so I came back and I made a video, as I said before, on this whole thing. This is it. You can watch it if you want to. I'll put up now. But like I said, this is me just adding in stuff that I didn't talk about before. When I came back, one of my mods was telling me how they were like going through my old videos and all the troll comments, like all of them are gone. And it's a lot of videos. It was a lot of comments. Like it was like hundreds. It was insane. They're all gone. And it's all the really bad ones. So they were like, yeah, they deleted all the stuff that they did. Now I screenshotted some of it in the video that I made, but you can't find those comments anymore because they went and got rid of it all and then started saying, oh, we never said anything to you. We never did anything. It's just like, seriously. So we pretty much took care of all that, because if you guys are going to be like that, you know, then I'll deal with it. But yeah, the point is, it was a lot of stuff. So if you do see like stray comments here or there, me talking like that, it was literally that mentality. And the thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't mention in that video, because at the time I couldn't have, is that even after all that happened, I kept doing it still. I'd said, yeah, I don't really need to because it worked out for me. Yeah, I'm getting views now. But it was just, I never wanted to rely on viewers for anything, especially starting off the way I started, where nobody was giving me a chance or hearing me out. I'm just like, I'm not gonna rely on you guys to stick around and hear what I have to say, so I'm just gonna keep doing it, because then nothing can fail me, you know? But I realize now that I wasn't looking at the situation objectively. Realistically, there are going to be people who are going to come along and actually resonate with what I have to say. Not just hear one video and move on, but like actually stick around and want to hear me out. Even if they don't agree with everything I say, they still respect me as a person. And I have to respect that in return and understand that I don't have to do this whole thing by myself. So I saw your comments while I was gone. I wasn't looking at them every day, but I seen like people like asking where was I, saying they missed my videos and stuff. And it's always shocking to me to see things like that, just because when you have to just hear people shitting on you non-stop, like thousands of comments just saying things about you that you know aren't true, it clouds your judgment a little bit. And you know, it stopped me from seeing like, well, there are people who it's not temporary, they're sticking around. People don't think about the perspective of like reading a bunch of hate comments. People say, oh, you care about what people think. You're supposed to care about what people think to some degree. I'll make a topic on that at some point. So you're supposed to take in other opinions to some degree. So every now and then I would still do that thing where like I would say some stuff just to get people to comment. But I don't need to do that anymore. I can be myself, because you guys, the people who do actually support my channel, you are allowing me to be myself. And it lets me know that even if people come along and make a bunch of claims about me, there's going to be some people who are going to hear what I have to say, because I've chosen this path, because I've chosen to be this type of a content creator where I have this perspective and I'm going to push it out there and make it everyone's problem. There's going to be people for the rest of the time who are going to twist my words and throw things in my face or try to cancel me or whatever. It doesn't matter how small I am, and it doesn't matter how big I get. It doesn't matter how much time goes by. As long as I make this kind of content, it's going to happen. And so that's always gonna be something looming over my head, like, when is that gonna happen? When is somebody gonna try to do that to me again? But I know that there's gonna be some people who will hear what I have to say, and that's all that I need. So I just wanted to say thank you for supporting me even though I was gone, and even though I haven't seen it yet. Again, trying to look at this in a more objective light. I know that there's gonna be some of you who were in that group who were excited to see me back. So again, thank you for being there for me while I was gone, and thank you for being around now that I'm back. I appreciate you, genuinely. With all that being said, I just want to make it clear that, yeah, I don't have to do that type of thing anymore, so I'm not going to. I'll still respond to some comments, but like the priority is different, is my point. I'm not in this priority to like antagonize possible threats, to try to counteract being silenced and all that other stuff. And yeah, it was a lot. Not to mention, I was also trying to be fair when I first started, like when I was still doing positive content and transitioning. I don't ever want to do something without actually being confident in my beliefs behind it. And just because other people jump the gun and go off of how they feel without a reason to explain it, and they just so happen to be right, doesn't mean that I'm going to do that. So when it came to censorship and all that, that was another thing where I didn't want to just censor comments, even if people said horrible things, you know, because I was like, is that actually the right thing to do? I wanted to finish formulating my opinion on it. But by the time I did, everything had already fallen apart at that point. And I don't regret that, because in the long term, if you do most things that way, it's more effective. That was a situation where, oh, if I had to just went off of emotion or something, it would have been the right decision to, of course, censor certain things that were awful, like harassing random people who support my content and threatening to bully them. Yeah, I should have censored that stuff, but I wanted to formulate my opinion on censorship first before I took any big action like that. So that was another thing that really had things getting out of control, because I was trying to find a way to deal with it without going against a possible thing that I didn't believe in once I sorted through those thoughts. But yeah, so I wouldn't say that there's like a new me in town or something, like here's the new me. It's just I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just as angry as I've always been, but that's separate from purposefully like saying things to, you know, agitate people who are already agitated. And I know that some people are probably pissed to hear that I'm back, or maybe even excited to see an opportunity to bash me again or whatever. But like I said, I also know that there's a lot of people who miss me, and regardless, I am back, and I'm gonna keep sharing my opinion on things. So I almost forgot to mention one more thing, and it was actually important. I now have 2 more channels. If you want to support my content, then you should subscribe to my other 2 channels, just in case anything happens to this one or for any future projects that I'm going to work on. I'm going to link them in the description. So that's pretty much all I want to say on that. Let me know what you guys think about the music, by the way. I don't really care if you like it or not. You know, everybody has their preferences, so I'm not looking for feedback on that. But it's been so long that I don't know how to balance it at the right volume in the background anymore. And personally, I'd rather have it be too low than for it to be too high, because then it's just really distracting. But yeah, just let me know if you think it needs to be louder or not. And if I do make it too loud in the next recent videos or something, let me know, because I gotta learn that all over again. But that's not the random thing I wanted to say. What I wanted to say was, you know, I had this random thought while I was making this video, and I thought about how so many people who take these long gaps go on like this journey of self-discovery, and they go through this whole like transformation or something, like they just had like this like quarter life crisis or whatever. I just thought it would have been funny if I like came back and just randomly was like, hey you guys, you know, I just spent a lot of time doing me. I've just been doing me the past like year or so, and yeah, I've been living my best life, you know, and I'm all about peace and love now, and I just want to wander off and live in peace. So everyone live in peace and be happy and positive, and I love you guys, and this is the new me. I'm just gonna evaporate into the atmosphere full of happiness and light and love. You know, like I thought it'd be funny. Or like if I came back like during April Fools or something. I almost did actually just to do that. But I was like, nah, I don't wanna upload right now. But yeah, I wonder how many people I would have fooled if I had to did something like that. Or even like how many people would have just been like, yeah, right, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, this is a random little thing I want to add in. Now I'm gonna do my little transition and go back to the conclusion of this video. I said earlier that there was a lot that I wanted to talk about over like the past year plus. There's just so many things I did want to talk about, but they're old topics. But I don't know. There's just so much stuff that happened. And some stuff I need to talk about for future videos. Like some stuff, it was a perfect opportunity for me to address like a thought on that. Ugh, I just have so much in my head. So I might just lump it in with the Let's Talk series, but we'll figure it out. But that's something I'm thinking about I'm probably going to do. Regardless, I am going to talk about some of these old topics because they're important. So with all that being said, I don't know how often I'm gonna upload or when, but I will be uploading again. Did any of you think that this was gonna be my last video just because of the title? Because if so, that was you reading too much into things. I'm definitely back. My last video was me referencing the last video that I made. That was the title basis. You get what I did there? Anyway, so again, thank you for being there for me. Thanks for supporting my channel, and I look forward to making more videos soon. So yeah, with all that said, I'll see you all next time, because there will be a next time.